What up, folks? Okay, so I want to talk about something, man, that has to do with the Music Man guitar here. The JP, the Majesty, right? Is my dream guitar really my dream guitar? Now, yes, it always has been my dream guitar ever since 2014 when I first heard JP talking about it and introducing the first batch of the Majesty. I would watch the videos and be like, dude, I want that. I've got to have it. It took me what 11 years to finally get one. First I had the JP15 and fantastic. That guitar, I can't say enough good things about it. It held tune like a champ. It sounded amazing. It felt awesome. And I to this day regret getting rid of that guitar to get my dream guitar, the Majesty. Yeah, it was my dream guitar. It still is my dream guitar. I'm proud to have it. And I can't believe most days that it is literally here, sitting in the floor. So, was the dream really what I thought it would be? No, it's not. I mean, I love the guitar, don't get me wrong. And this video might sound like I'm going to throw Music Man under the bus. But they are a fantastic company. The JP15 I had was flawless. It was. And dude, like I said, I can't say enough good things about that guitar. Then we move on to a couple of months ago. I get the Her Majesty's request, Majesty. Finally, after all these years, I finally got it. And you guys know the story. The tuning on it was terrible. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. And then I finally swap it out for the one I have now, the Enchanted Forest here. Now, when I first got it, it had some crazy tuning issues. Lubricated everything. Cool. It does good. It holds tune for the most part. For the most part. But sometimes it's like I can't even play the thing without having to tune it. And I've done all that I know to do from going around the forums and seeing what people suggest that you do about your tuning stability. And I know how to set up a Floyd, floating trim. Unless the Music Man tremolo is different somehow, I don't know. But it will hold tune some days, and it will be great. But then there's other days where everything sounds awful. And you bend a string, it knocks the tuning out. Particularly the B and G strings. And the A string still has that wave to it, and it has to be tuned slightly flat on the tuner so that the chord, the A5 power chord, sounds in tune. And the white one I had the same problem. The intonation on both guitars, brand new, when I first got them home, all read flat by just a smidge. Two of these guitars are this way. Like, I don't know. Did Music Man change something about how they set up their guitars? Because as far as I could tell, this Enchanted Forest, and the white one, they weren't set up. They weren't set up to what you would expect for a $4,000 guitar. You know what I mean? And like I said, don't get me wrong, I love the guitar. When it is in tune, it is the greatest guitar I've ever played. The thing is amazing. But for some reason, I don't know why, the white one and this one I have now, the Enchanted Forest, have the same issues going on. I've lubricated it multiple times. I've monkeyed around with the bridge, getting it level. And I think right now I've got it. I think. And I can say that, just like I have before. It's holding tune fine. Tomorrow, when I get home from work, it'll be jacked up again. It's just what I think. And my room here, it stays a pretty constant temperature. It's not like there's crazy humidity fluctuations or anything. But I don't know, man. I mean, $4,000 for an instrument, I would expect that guitar would be set up, ready to play, out of the box, and you shouldn't have to do anything to it other than the lubrication of the nut and the saddles. That's just my opinion. And I'm a little bit frustrated. I'm not taking it back and trading it in again. I'm not doing that because, like I said, all the ones I tried out that day all had the same stuff. The A chord not being in tune, even though the guitar was in tune. And my intonation on the green one now, the Enchanted Forest here, it reads normal. That it's in. But it still has that A string has to be tuned slightly flat for it to sound in tune when you play an A5 chord or do any sort of bar chords with a fifth string root. And man, like I've gotten to the point, especially yesterday, my buddy Matt was here watching me play it, and he could tell, like, dude, the thing's out of tune. Every time you bend a string, or every time you do vibrato, or use the bar, it's out of tune. And he was like, I would go and get my money back, dude, and just forget about the Majesty. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that like I did last time. I'm going to keep monkeying with it and let it sit and, adjust for about a month or so and see if it finally proves out. But I love it, but at the same time, it's a love-hate relationship. I love it, but I hate it at the same time. And I can't believe, unless it's just my experience that I'm having with these two instruments, that someone with the playing talents of John Petrucci would put his name on a guitar like this and say, I stand by it, because, that's what drew me to the Majesty, was all the great things that John has said about it. It's the greatest guitar ever made. They're so beautiful, which is very true. And they feel like nothing else. That's true as well. But, I I play parties here at my house sometimes on the weekends. And we do maybe 25 songs in a night. And I wouldn't trust this guitar to play 4 of those songs without needing to be tuned. And all it is country stuff for the most part. I'm not even doing any sort of crazy lead work or anything. And it's like, man, like for $4,000, shouldn't you be able to put some trust in your instrument? I don't know how John does it, even though I know he's got multiple instruments and he has a tech. That, if something goes crazy with it, his tech can handle that for him. But for us that don't have that kind of stuff, man, that kind of stuff, like, dude, my Ibanez's, they're in here with me. My Gibson, even. Every time I pull them out of the case, they're in tune. They do not need to be tuned all night long when I'm playing a party. The JP15 I had, I could play an entire night, not tune it maybe once during a break. Before we start playing again, I would go and check my tuning and tune it just slightly. But this one and that white one, I can play backing tracks, and it might be slightly out of tune, but it's just me in here. So it's no big deal that it goes out of tune slightly when I'm playing by myself. But if I were to play live against other musicians, that guitar's being out of tune is definitely going to be noticeable. And I don't know what to do. I mean, I've tried everything I know to try. The Big Ben's nut sauce, I did that twice, 3 times. I've stretched my strings. I can't tell you how many times I've grabbed those things and pulled on them. I've tuned from the flat note to the sharp note, or the flat note to an in tune note. I've played around with the bridge, and got it, pretty good, I think. Because right now it's okay. And if I can, I will let you guys see what this looks like. What this bridge looks like since I've monkeyed with it last night here. Alright. I don't know how this is going to work out, but can we even see it? No, we can't see it. Anyway, I could maybe do it like this. If I can figure out how to get the guitar in frame. There we go. I mean, the bridge is level with the top of the body. And this seems to have gotten it to where this is where it needs to be sitting. So anyway, I don't know, man. Is the dream everything I thought it would be? No, it's not. No, it's not. Because I've played a lot of guitars in my time of 23 years of playing. I have played guitars that cost $200 that hold tune better than this does. Every Ibanez I've ever owned holds tune better than this does. I don't understand. Maybe there's something. I even followed Ernie Ball's setup process step by step. And they say, you'll be ready to play once you're done with this. No. I mean, yeah, you can play it, but is it going to hold tune for you? No. And I emailed them today, or yesterday, about, can I get some pictures or a diagram or something to show how this bridge should be sitting, because I'm used to the Ibanez Edge, and maybe there's something different about their bridge that, in case something, goes wonky on mine, that I can have a reference point. And I know people say just eyeball it, and I could do that if I knew what I was looking for. On an Ibanez Edge, the bottom of the bridge is supposed to be level with the top of the body. But this one, the plate, they don't really specify what part of the plate needs to be level with the top of the body. Is it the face? Or is it underneath that's supposed to sit on top of the body? Because that's how I have it right now. Is like the bottom of the bridge is sitting even with the top of the body. And that seems to be doing it the same way that the Edge would do. And my 550, man, $999. This one is $3,800. That 550 is in tune every single time I open the case and get it out. If it hasn't been played in a while, I'll need to do some minor adjustments on the tuning. I mean, just barely tweak the fine tuners, and it'll be right back in tune. My Prestige 7 and 6 strings, always in tune. Even my Gibson is always in tune. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bitch because, I wanted this for so freaking long. And when I got it home finally, after all the years of waiting, I was let down twice. And maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there is. Maybe there's something I don't know about the setup process on one of these that's different. But I at one point I really had that thought of I can't believe that John Petrucci puts his name on this and signs off on it as being a great guitar. Because there for a while, dude, I was completely discrediting what he was saying about these guitars. And even my buddy Matt, he was like, how could your JP15 be so good, but this one not be so good?" I don't know, maybe Music Man has changed how they set up their guitars, or maybe they got people in there that are doing the setup process that don't pay attention to make sure that everything is correct. And they give you the setup process on their FAQ there on their site, but it's, to me, it leaves a lot to be desired. You know, it's just weird to me. But I'm gonna keep working with this one. I'm gonna let it sit and play on it every single day and see how it does. But I don't know. The dream, the dream was good while it lasted. Because man, I was so hyped when I got ready to go down and get that first one, that white one. I was, dude, I was on top of the world. When I walked out of the Guitar Center with it, I was on top of the world. Maybe that's my mistake. I bought one from Guitar Center. They don't give a damn about humidity and all that kind of stuff. But then when you get home and there's no one else around playing and there's no music going on, you can really hear things that you didn't hear. And that's what's happened with both of these. So I don't know. The only thing I know to try that I haven't tried yet is smaller strings. So I'm going to use up my 10s I have. I've got 5 sets of those, my Ernie Ball 10s. And if it doesn't improve over this next few string changes, I'm going to go down to 9.5 to 44, and put those on here since it has a little bit less string to lay into the nut slots. Now, maybe that's what it is, the nut's grabby, and not letting it hold tune or making it seem like things are wonky when they're not. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the nut needs broken in. But does John's guitars have to have all this stuff? And I've read online that, some of these guitars, it takes longer for them to settle, for the wood to adjust, and all this kind of different stuff. But it's like, all the ones John gets are great, apparently. And how are his so good? And then these two I have here aren't total crap, but they're not what I would expect from a brand like Music Man. And I've seen dudes on YouTube, man, playing their Majesties and just enjoying them, loving it, having fun. They're in tune. Sounds amazing. And I'm just thinking to myself, why can't mine be that way? But then I got to wondering about it. Are they actually playing these guitars in these videos? Or did they record the guitar that you're hearing with something else and then turn the volume down on the Majesty and mime their stuff with that guitar in the video to make you think that's the guitar they played? So I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just pissy because mine isn't perfect the way I expect it to be. And maybe it's going to get better. I hope so. I really do hope so. Because right now, man, I feel like it's Christmas morning and I didn't get what I wanted. Or I went to the bargain store, the thrift store, and got a really shitty cheap item. And I do worry too about the PVC board that's in these guitars. Because I've heard a lot of people having to get their whole preamp replaced. From 2023, and my guitar was built October 18th of 2023. And I was like, oh man, I hope the electronics don't go once I get all this tuning shit sorted out. But I'm going to take it over to my buddy's house, my buddy Matt's house next Thursday, and play it with him for a while and see how it does. up against another musician, you know. Because like I said, it can go out of tune in here when I'm doing my backing track videos and stuff, but it's just me playing. So it's not like, I've got to be in perfect tune all the time. But I wouldn't trust it. I would not trust it to play with my family band, and I I should have no reason not to trust this guitar to play live, you know? I just think for the money that you pay for guitars like this, they should come out of the box ready to go, no adjustments required. Because I've heard that it does come set to John's specs. Well, at the moment, this guitar, John couldn't play this on stage. He would probably throw it at his guitar tech, Maddie, because for him to play what he needs to play, it's impossible on this guitar. My action is high. And no matter, they say all you gotta do is tweak the truss rod a little bit to bring it down. It doesn't work. There is no relief in my neck. It's super flat, straight. I loosened it. I loosened the truss rod, let it sit for an hour, and I tested it with the two fingers, There's no gap between the string and the fretboard. The tap test on this guitar doesn't work. And I don't want to just loosen the hell out of it to see if I get any relief in the neck, because, you can really damage stuff if you start taking the truss rod and turning the hell out of it. It does work when you straighten the neck. It definitely squats the action down, but there's buzz all over the place. And I know that John likes a perfectly flat neck. He does not mind fret buzz. You can hear it in a lot of his live performances when he's playing clean. But I don't know, man. I did lower the saddles a little bit on the high strings just to get that action down to where it's playable at the top of the neck. But just for that kind of money, dude, Ernie Ball needs to get it together. Because they're charging what most people would find unaffordable. That's their problem, I think. That's one of their problems. They have nothing affordable that says Ernie Ball Music Man on it. Sterling, yes, there's plenty of affordable Sterling models. But for the Ernie Ball stuff, you're paying some people their whole life savings for a guitar. And they're so excited. And then when they get it, like I did, you can't play the damn thing. There's no reason why this guitar shouldn't cost any more than $2,000. I think that it's not worth the $4,000 price tag. Because as I've stated before, if you buy one of these guitars and you make YouTube content or you play in a band, if it's not capable of letting you create your content, if you're a musician on YouTube or play in your band, it's a worthless instrument. And like I said, maybe I'm just pissy because mine doesn't work the way it's supposed to. But it has gotten better. It really has. It's holding tune quite well now. But yesterday, when my buddy Matt was over watching me play, it wouldn't hold tune to save its life. And I told him, I was like, how could John play this, dude? How could he stand there on YouTube and other videos he's made and rave about the quality of these instruments when we are buying them and they're not even staying in tune decently good? It almost made me discredit everything he's ever said about the Ernie Ball Music Man Majesty. Now, I know I made that video a while back about my signature guitar would be a Music Man, right? And that was going completely off of owning the JP15, which was an immaculate instrument. It was top of the line. And I would have to tune it, yes, but not every 10 minutes. I can't play this Majesty. Even in that last backing track video I made today, I had to tune the damn thing in the middle of the track. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what's causing all of that, man. But I've rambled on here for about almost 30 minutes. But anyway, it's just not worth $4,000 if you can't play the damn thing and enjoy it, you know? And I can open the case. You know, right now I can open it and look at it. It's beautiful. But I'm afraid every time I go to work and leave it all day that when I come home to do my daily guitar practice or make a video, I'm just going to have to sit and tune the thing. I spend more time on this guitar tuning it than I do actually playing it. Break out the 550, I spend more time playing it than I do tuning it. And it's a fraction of the cost. I don't know. And I know the nut's fine. It's not that. I know that for sure. Other than maybe it's a little grabby on some of the strings. I might, when I change my strings again, I might run one of the strings through the G string and the B string fret slot, nut slot, just to kind of, see if there's anything grabbing a hold of anything in there, and that could be a lot of it. But I don't know what's causing the A string to have to be tuned slightly flat to make it play an in tune chord, even though the intonation reads good. It's unacceptable for guitars of this kind of money, dude. Like, man. But anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you watching and listening to me ramble on and complain because my guitar isn't perfect like I wanted it to be. So, just be wary, guys, if you go out and get you a Majesty. Just kind of maybe if you get them from Sweetwater and get a setup done. I mean, really. I'm thinking that's the big problem I did was not waiting and getting one from Sweetwater. Because Guitar Center had them. I had a bunch of shit that I could take down and get and sell off and get it. And I was so pumped and excited to do it that I'm gonna fucking do it because that's what I want, I should have just took all my equipment down, sold it all off, brought the money back, called Sweetwater, got them to set one up for me and ship it out. That's what I should have done. And the next time I get a Majesty, that's what I'm gonna do. Thanks for watching, guys.